we're going to jump into a 360-degree video and see how it can be used in education. Are you ready? It's time, 'cause we've got to do this if we're gonna figure out the flipped classroom. This is a 360-degree video presentation. Look around. You're inside a cylinder. Can't move? You gotta drag with a mouse or swipe with your finger. This is a simple environment that gives us a lot of space on the walls. And 'cause you can't see everything at once, you gotta look around. That makes this an immersive environment. The important thing is that you gotta move around. You can't just watch the video. Here's my advice to you, as a content designer. Stick the most important stuff on the front wall. Other stuff goes on the sides. The person watching the video's gotta return to this front wall as the topics change. By putting important stuff up front, they'll learn to keep coming back to this position. As I said, the sides have information too. So you gotta think about what kind of stuff goes with the topic. Of course, everything around the inside of the cylinder is related. That includes the stuff on the rear wall. Back there, it's a good place for background information, and things like credits. People look there when they want to follow up on the topic. The video goes pretty fast. The good thing is that you can pause the video. This gives you time to look around. Then you start the video again, and move on. The fast pace is intentional. We think that people will view each video several times. Here's how it works. First time through, you'll move through the video slowly. You're gonna be pausing and looking around. Once you're familiar with the topic, you'll watch the video again. This time you'll go faster. This follow-up viewing gives you a chance to review the material. The review, of course, is important in mastering the content. You'll get several cues when the video is about to move to a new topic. The background sound will become quiet, and the video will dim briefly. Then you'll know that it's time to move back to the front, so you can start the next topic. Look up. There's an arrow on the ceiling. This arrow points toward the front. And the floor has a topic counter. It's there showing your progress through the video. The flipped classroom. It's a big concept. It's clear that the flipped classroom is a radical change. 'Cause if you believe in the flipped classroom, you gotta re-envision the whole learning environment. The basic premise is simple. You get rid of the stuff that you usually deliver to students, such as lectures. Instead, you give students things like videos that they can use outside the classroom. Instead of watching your lecture, they get the same content in the videos. This frees up classroom time. You can use this time for all sorts of interactive activities. The out-of-class videos shouldn't be passive. Students shouldn't just be watching videos. They need to be active participants while they're watching. This means that the videos should have some element of interactivity. See how this fits with this surround kind of video? If you're with me on this, you'll be wondering how to make a surround video. Well, there's no simple way. But we can figure out something that'll work if we're willing to try some things. This video, for example. It's an early test to see if this format works. If you like the idea of showing video in a cylinder, well, it's pretty straightforward to make a video like this. So let's assume that you're willing to try. What's next? I've got a few guidelines that may help. The completed video shouldn't be too long. Break up your stuff into bite-sized pieces. I think of each video as a mini presentation. Each one is maybe 6 or 7 minutes long. Look at the stuff you already use. You know, PowerPoint text slides, pictures, and charts. Maybe you have some videos. We can work that in too. Putting this stuff together takes you back to PowerPoint. The thing that's different is the format. We'll talk about that later. The important thing is that up to this point, you're working with a familiar tool. We've got to start thinking about how we're gonna make our flipped classroom videos. You know, we've seen the opportunities, but there are challenges too. The surround environment makes it look like you've got a lot of wall space for show and stuff. The reality is that there are limits to the resolution of the video. This means that you've got to be careful with what you show, and how you show it. Consider that some students might be using lower resolution displays. Your goal is to produce video with a minimum of 4K resolution. That's just 3840 by 2160 pixels. And these pixels are spread over a 360-degree view. So the number of pixels, seen at any time, is considerably less. More like 950 by 540 pixels. That's pretty low resolution. You gotta factor this into the overall design. Your planning must consider, quite obviously, that the output is video. This means that you're gonna have an audio voice track, right along with the video. Doing a voiceover will be a challenging activity for many people. Then there's the new video formats to consider. Sticking in a 360-degree video clip's a good way to encourage interaction. But this format adds to the technical complexity. Put all this stuff together and you'll see that it's possible to make richer and more interactive materials for our students. And now, with little comment, there'll be a few sequences that demonstrate how this surround environment works. The materials weren't chosen to fit together. Instead, they're included to test things like resolution and complexity.
I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you're up to the challenges of the flipped classroom, then I suggest that you watch some of the other videos in this series. Goodbye.